are going to come with so you don't have to.
No, I want to hear
Bring
No, this money I want to hear.
Bring it.
Please, Dawah. No, I can say Dawah.
So let's finish.
Okay. So you are not.
You see, that's how Moshis behave. When they see Dagombes, they are masters. They lose sense of proportion because they want to show their Karachi powers that they have arrived, but they continue to be our slaves under training. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa ta'ala wa barakatuh. I bring you warm felicitations and regards from His Excellency, the former President and inshallah the incoming President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. I am here with my brother Alhaji Mustafa Abubakar to represent him. And so, whatever we say or do here that is worthy of praise, please let it reach His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But whatever we do here that attracts your condemnation or that falls short of your expectation, please blame us, myself and my brother. That is due to our perhaps young minds and inexperienced approach. But because we do know that if he was here himself, he would have done it better. And I will want to begin by commending Peace Dawah Media and Ali Amir Foundation for the wonderful work that they have been doing for the Nation of Islam in Ghana. It is worthy of note that across the country, it is hard to miss the tremendous developmental projects that the Peace Dawah Media has been, engaged in. And all of this go to our credit as Muslims. And so it is important that we all lend support in whatever way we can to the enterprising nature of these two institutions. I am particularly excited that the Ali Amir Foundation, for the blind Muslims in Ghana, is prioritizing the construction of an educational complex that will see to the education of the blind in our community. And I am excited because this goes to the core of our belief as Muslims. The concept of disability in the conventional sense is alien to the Quran. I have seen a number of research work that has tried to find how disability is defined in the Quran. But you don't find that categorization. Where even blind or deaf is used in the context of spirituality, where one is blind to faith or to the goodness of our Creator. It is not used like in our social and cultural settings as if it were a punishment. And so no wonder we are told that Allah doesn't burden anyone beyond the person's ability to bear. And so in Islam, what you will have referred to are people who are disadvantaged. People who are disadvantaged. But when it comes to faith, when it comes to practice of Islam, we are not categorized as people who can see or who cannot see, who can walk or who cannot walk. We are all treated equally before Islam. And we are all given our level of expectations as to how we are supposed to worship Allah. No burden beyond what you can bear. But then you come down and you notice that we are categorized into people who are disadvantaged. And those who are disadvantaged does not necessarily refer to those who are blind or those who can walk. Because then it also has a category. Even the wayfarer, the traveler, the one on a journey is considered disadvantaged. Can you imagine? The one traveling is considered disadvantaged. But the one blind or crippled or disabled in the way we in the conventional sense interpret it, is not considered as a disadvantaged person. And what it teaches us, therefore, is that we all have the ability to rise up to our, potential and our God-given talents. And it is important that as people of faith, that we create the necessary conditions that will allow anybody, whether you are in our conventional sense disabled or not, to aspire to the greatest height possible. And that is why it is important that in our society, when it comes to choosing people to lead us, we pay attention to those who understand these concepts of, our society. And you recall that when His Excellency President Mahama was in office, he dared, for the first time in the history of this country, to even appoint a visually impaired person for the first time ever to become a minister of state. It was not just for that person, but it was the symbolism for those who are visually impaired. Even though he was criticized heavily for doing that, you recall that even some communities, some chiefs, held press conferences to condemn His Excellency President Mahama for appointing a visually impaired person to the Ministry of Chieftaincy Affairs, because they didn't think that by their cultural standards they could engage him. But he stood his ground because he knew that it was something that will ensure inclusivity and that will encourage many more people who are visually impaired to also aspire to greater heights and not just to serve in government. We recall the developmental efforts that he led in sanitizing our Hajj operations. We are not there yet. We are not there yet. But at least we have moved a major step away from how chaotic it used to be to a point where at least we have sanitized it a bit and we can still do much better. But we cannot forget the role that he played. When it comes to education, we do know the role that he played. In fact, the first ever, which is still yet to be completed, is the first training college for to be manned by Muslims, was started in the Bono region, Al Farouk. Up till today, it is not being completed. If we had completed it, we would have been training Muslim or Islamic teachers from that college, because that was the idea, the first Islamic teacher training college. And I hear that they have started, but that is about 7 years down the line, and we will need to increase the infrastructure there. And I assure you that based on this vision, I believe that we are going to do that. And that is why it is important, like I said, that when we are choosing leaders, we just don't look at those who look like us. We need to look at those who understand the concept of our society. And where is the Moshi man? I'll share a proverb with him in Dagbani, where it is said that I chantangne abetuare ngomel no hayanga atuara no kuwa no sani. Atakbir.
There's a Moshi man value.
You see, the Moshi man is protesting and say, explain. Because, you see, the language is a rich language. And that is why we continue to be your masters. What it means is that when you go into a town, you do not enter the home of the one with many fowls. You enter the home of the one who has the ability to kill a fowl for you. Are you getting it? Someone may have many fowls. Someone may look like you, behave like you, but do not even have the ability to kill a fowl for you. But someone may just have one fowl, but he will revere your presence and will decide to sacrifice that fowl just to feed you because he appreciates the fact that you have come to live in his home. Atakbir. And so I will end here, and I would like to end with Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 14. Can I get any of the scholars here to quote it for me? Chapter 2, verse 14.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون.
Thank you. Atakbir. And that is the ayah that I want to end with. And it says in English, and when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. But when they are alone with their evil ones, they say, indeed, we are with you. We were only mocking them. Let us be watchful of those who will mock our faith, will tell us they are with us when we are with them, and will tell others that they are also with them when they are with them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
HAFIZ TV, unique every day.